Hello and welcome back to Football Manager. As you saw in the last video, we've had some admittedly not great form. Don't get me wrong, 3 wins in a row here, but 2 draws either side, another draw in the last video, defeat to Liverpool. We've sort of been a bit up and down in the league, only 1 win in the last 5 league games. If we don't win today, is going to be difficult to try and recover from. Because we are in 6th place currently, 5 points behind Chelsea in the final Champions League spot, but only 3 points ahead of Arsenal, which could see us drop out of the Europa League spots entirely. No injury news, to my knowledge at least, that needs to be mentioned. Don't know if any transfers have gone through. This was a transfer that was being done by the director of football, but clearly fell through as it was rejected. He's a fairly good player, but as a 78 I wouldn't want him to sign at this point. I'll probably wait a few years before making a permanent signing on him, see how he actually does turn out. The other 3 players all still, as you know, to be joining when they're joining. No new players in or out. So yeah, no big news needs to be mentioned, I don't think, at least at the moment. Financially, the club's fairly well off, £41 million in the bank, not bad. We have obviously got a £73 million deficit for this season, but that'll be rectified with prize money that we might get from finishing in the top 5 in the Premier League, getting through different rounds of the Champions League or the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, what have you. So, for now at least, we're not worrying about this really big red number here. We are worrying, however, about this big red number down here, because that's £100,000 more than we have available in the budget. So, yeah. But let's not worry about that in the minute. Instead, let's focus on getting a victory against Newcastle in a very important game at London Stadium, because it could actually decide where we're going to finish. And as much as I want to change the first team to, put Tasic on for Jovanovski, I don't want to do it to start with because I don't want to risk messing up a good formula, which at the minute we don't really have, I'll admit, but these are the best players at the side apart from Zahajovic for Augusto and Watson for Yulla, but this is what we've got available to us, and it's a good formula that's working, at least not losing, so to speak. So I'm not going to risk changing too much that we risk losing the mentality of the side and risk losing the coordination and cohesion of the side as well. Obviously, one defeat could completely destroy the cohesion of the side and the morale of the side, but we'll come to that when it does arrive, of course. I'm going to passionately say we're favourites for a reason. So go out there and make sure we can win this game. Everything's still set up fine. I've been playing a different save on my laptop recently, and I couldn't remember if I'd put it on the cloud or not. So I wasn't sure if it had messed up the settings for this save file as well, but it has not, thankfully. Pizarro with the ball to Eduardo now, forward to Doyle. Plays out wide, finding Zahajovic. Looking forward, now gets a ball to the edge of the box. Looking for a cross, gets it to Jovanovski, who nearly scores with the first shot of the match, which would have completely justified my position on keeping him in the first team almost immediately, but unfortunately that did not happen. Another thing I'm going to possibly do is change from attacking mentality to positive, so we get more possession rather than getting more shots, because as shown in the last few games, shots clearly do not always equate to goals. Nestorov trying to get the ball off Longstaff but does not manage it. Weatherton now, the ball gets to the edge of the byline, plays it back again to Longstaff. Plays the ball across the field for Connell, plays it forward to Jose Alberto. Tries to get across him, but blocked very well by Ramsey. Now, Jovanovski clear with the ball into the middle. Gets tackled very poorly by one of the Newcastle midfielders. Plays it to Nestorov, and I don't know where that ball went, if it was behind or in front of the goal, because the keeper dived to his right, indicating it going around the near post, but I'm not exactly too sure. We'll have some creativity now. Jose Alberto heads it down to Connell, forward to Longstaff, now Shackleton. Out wide, finding Jose Alberto again. Looking to get tackled by, I'm not sure who that was, but plays it to Shackleton instead, now Longstaff. Forward to Wassenaar. Gets a shot away, and thankfully the ball is saved by Plazari, who gets the ball back from Ramsey. Looking over the top, finds Nestorov in a very advantageous position. But unfortunately the ball is lost in a Longstaff tackle. Now, throw in from Sahajevic, plays it to Doyle. Doyle loses out to Wassenaar in another bit of very poor football from him that has just been essentially his entire game for the last few games. If I'm honest with you, that is literally what I've been seeing every single time he's played for some reason in the last few matches. Terrible bits of midfield work that give away the ball. But Lopez, very nearly scoring from a free kick there, but instead gets us a corner kick which he himself will again take. Swings it in to the near post but headed away by Newcastle to Jovanovski. Gets the ball lost to Longstaff. Now Wassenaar plays the ball to Longstaff. And then end of the highlight. But yes, as I mentioned, Doyle has been error prone very heavily for the last few games, but despite that always seems to get good ratings. So I'm not sure what it really means, whether he's just accident prone during highlights or if he's just really good when he's not on a highlight. Ramsey now with a throw-in, gets it to Thomas, who plays it back to Ramsey again. Ramsey trying to work it around the defender, can't quite make it past, so instead passes to Lopez, who gets a cross in for a Mateus header, and it just loops over the diving goalkeeper's arm for his 5th of the season, and thankfully the first of the game, giving us a 1-0 lead. But as you can see, Mateus is not a tall player, 5'8". That header was only possible because the defenders completely lapsed in concentration, allowing him through. But I'm hoping that this season will see us with the oh god, where did we sign him from? Was it Fluminense or was it Gramenos? I don't actually remember. But hopefully we'll see the Brazilian Mateus this season. And Yuri Nestorov, just proving why he's in the team rather than Yildirim, gives us the second of the match so far, and a comfortable 2-0 lead heading in to half-time. And to be fair, he really started that move as well, making the ball pass to Thomas, then to Doyle, out wide finding Sahajevic before falling back to him again for a hell of a fierce shot that gives us our 2-0 lead into this match. And Nestorov, unsurprisingly, is currently the best player on the field. And thankfully, morale is doing very well. I want to praise the boys after that. They deserve the praise. 2-0 up is a very important place to be, especially in a Premier League fixture, against a team like Newcastle, who are in the lower echelons of the league. It should sap their confidence somewhat, and it should allow us to then control the rest of this match more successfully. Weatherton now with the ball. Plays it across to Eduardo's head. Now Thomas runs it forward, looking up for a pass, finding Jovanovski. Jovanovski is at the edge of the box now, looking for a cross, makes it into the box for Nestorov's header, and that's his 2nd of the game and 3rd of the season. And I'm going to now make a substitution. Despite the fact he got an assist on that ball, he is getting too low in stamina for me to honestly keep him on safely. And as well as that, we're going to bring off Sahajevic for Augusto, because he's in the same boat, as well as Eduardo for Yulla, because he's in the same boat. So all 3 substitutions made in the 62nd minute. And to be honest with you, this was a very well worked goal. Jovanovski getting past the Newcastle tackle and getting the ball very high into the box for the tall Ukrainian's header, which only barely, mind you, managed to get underneath the crossbar after Ogurkan, the Turkish Newcastle goalkeeper, did make a touch with it. Salizu plays it back to the goalkeeper, looking up, finding the left winger in Jose Alberto, looking to get past Ramsey, does rather successfully, unfortunately, and Plazari does make a beautiful save before Augusto just kicks the ball from in front of the feet of the Newcastle right winger. Oh, I thought he would have retired by now, James Ward-Prowse, but Clearly not. In fact, he is the only player other than Sean Longstaff that I believe I recognise the name of. Yulla now throws the ball into the box. Mateus heads it. Oh no, he doesn't. Gets to his feet. Then passes back to Yulla. Now to Thomas. Gets the cross looking for Doyle, who then tries to pass for Nestorov. Gets the cross in again for Yulla, whose header this time goes into the gloves of the goalkeeper. And I'll drop some more praise on them again for their now 3-goal lead. Now Ward-Prowse gets it very worryingly past Augusto before crossing to the unmarked Jose Alberto. And unfortunately I've just praised them, which will only go through after this goal was scored. But that was a terrible piece of defensive work from Augusto. As well as that, Kane Ramsey should not have left his man. He should have kept on him, as there was already a man marking the number 10 in the middle of the box. But hopefully praising them for conceding won't make them concede again. But it has happened, as that would obviously before. Longstaff plays it back to Gibson. Gibson looking up, finding now the goalkeeper behind him, who now himself looks up, looking for a long pass forward, finding Salizu. Gets the ball out wide for Jose Alberto, touches it forward. Ramsey again letting him pass too easily. However, the Italian Pizzari does make up for his right back's mistake. Long ball forward from Pizzari, finding Nestorov. Plays it back to Pizzari. Pizzari looking up, finding forward into Thomas. Now Watson plays it to Tasic, gets it round the left back of Newcastle before shooting, and then Mateus follows up for his second and 6th of the season, giving us a 4-1 lead against the Toon army of Newcastle United. And I still don't know why they're called the Toon army. Do they have an affinity towards cartoons in the north? Or is it because they always play a tune? I don't actually know. Pizzari, another long ball forward, finding Nestorov, who heads it on but rather poorly. Salizu clicks the ball forward to Dobbin. Now plays it back to Wassenaar. Plays it out wide, finding Connell. Gets to the edge of the box, looking up, finding a cross. Ooh, Yulla very nearly giving away an own goal, but instead just concedes a corner kick. Now Ward-Prowse kicks the ball in, met by the gloves of Pizzari after a header from the, I believe that was number 12, it is number 12, inside the box. Ward-Prowse again with another corner kick, this time headed away by Yulla. Jose Alberto now with the ball, plays it into the back of Salizu, now Gibson. And that's the end of the highlight. And this has quite clearly been the best this side has performed, probably all season, to be honest with you. Doyle with a cross from a free kick, but the header is saved by the Turkish goalkeeper. But yes, as I mentioned, this is probably the best I've seen this Millwall side play all season for many reasons, really. For one, they've scored 4 goals. For 2, they've only conceded the 1. And for 3, they're winning. They're not drawing, not losing. They're not having to fight to come back into the match. They are doing very well. Tasic now heads the ball forward to Mateus. Plays it back to Thomas. Thomas looking up, finding a ball through, looking for Mateus again. Actually does find him, who shoots, but the ball is sent over the crossbar. And with only 50% possession between us, this is clearly a team that's playing a lot better than the other, but just not playing for the ball. And after 4 minutes of extra time, it's all over at the London Stadium. Millwall have finally won another fixture in the league, and it's a very, very positive result. And I'm happy with the result and the way they played, and clearly Nestorov, the best player on the field, followed admittedly closely behind by his striker Mateus. But as mentioned, Tommy Doyle, despite being very accident prone, 8.3. So clearly he's a very good player. And we continue forward knowing that we are not going to play any Premier League games, or any games for that matter, until the last week of November. Or the last weeks of November, I should say. I believe our next game's on the 17th. Good win from Boston. Boston, actually, a new thing from them. They've now got a Curaçaoan manager in Leandro Bacuna, but their form, it's improved. 3 wins here, but a defeat to Portsmouth really shot them in the gut, because that was not a result they wanted after beating 3 teams who arguably are upper level sides. I mean, maybe not Chesterfield, but they are still challenging for that promotion. But, as I say every time I mention them, you're not here to look at Boston anymore. You're here to see Millwall, if you're even here at all. But, yeah, obviously we look through all the loan players, see which ones are performing the best, which ones aren't. Another thing I should mention as a quick update is, I don't think he actually played in this group of fixtures. No, he didn't, by the looks of things. I will quickly praise Yuri Nestorov. But if I quickly go down to the National South, I believe it is, that Gateshead are in. Not the National. Here we are, first in the National North. Lee Smart is now technically, as you can see there, 2-star, because he's actually a championship level striker, and he's currently playing in the National League North. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets around 40 goals this season, simply because of the fact that he's now a championship striker. I mean, look at this. Half the games scored more goals. You couldn't ask for a better position for a player to be in a league that he's going to dominate for the next 6-7 months, I think. Not bad. But yes, as I mentioned, okay, the 20th of November is the next fixture. You won't watch that one, obviously. No, not Italy fixtures. Millwall schedule. You've obviously seen Valencia already, so the next fixture you'll be watching will be Inter Milan and Manchester United. I'm not going to be happy about those 2 results, because I get the feeling I'm going to lose at least one of them. If it wasn't for Louis Barry in the Inter Milan game before, we would have lost that one too. So, and we're away for the next fixture against Inter Milan before facing Man United at home. We've got to play Norwich twice in 2 weeks, once in the Carabao Cup quarters and once in the Premier League. We need to improve our current mentality. But in saying that, incredibly good form, I can't deny it. So, until we play Inter Milan on the 8th of December, I bid thee adieu. Goodbye.